why are you here?
Well, they're moving us off here with a section 14. I don't know where they're going to send us now, down to the embankment probably. I don't know, they're getting a bit umpty with us.
I farm in Andover in Hampshire. We're about 600 acres and I'm a mixed farm, so I produce store cattle and arable crops. We've come up to London today, obviously budget day, to show our dismay at the government and with the ongoing inheritance tax issues. As it is proposed at the minute, my children will have to pay a vast amount of money to buy their own farm back. We travelled up late last night and got into London about 1:30 this morning and didn't know anything about it till we were stopped by police officers and said the demonstration isn't going ahead. You're not permitted to park your tractors in London. Luckily enough, we managed to get parked up off the road and we stayed in our tractors all night. We've been warned that if we don't move on, we may possibly be arrested. Why it's been cancelled, I do not know. I can only presume that there's going to be some ultra bad news in the budget this afternoon, and the powers that be in the city didn't want hordes of farmers with heavy machinery in the city.
All I can tell you, sir, is that a senior police officer stated that if there were to be tractors down Whitehall or anywhere else other than Richmond Terrace, there would be serious disruption to members of the public.
Yeah, but it's just a peaceful protest.
Yeah,
you know.
fine.
No one's causing any.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that it's not
most of these
peaceful.
people have never been arrested before.
Yeah.
I'm sure they haven't.
We're here trying to save our livelihoods from inheritance tax and everything else, because at the end of the day, all these farmers have given up. Some of them left yesterday lunchtime in Cornwall, and it's just a disgrace how this government are treating the farmers. If they don't look out to the farmers, we're going to starve in this country. We need everyone to just buy English at the end of the day.
The police have just overreacted, unfortunately. You know, a lot of people have just come down and brought their tractors anyway, because we've got a right to protest. We got permission from the Met Police to park on Whitehall like we did last time when we had to visit London before, and have a peaceful demonstration, a show of numbers, and just tell the government that we haven't gone away.
My name's Joseph Harper. I come from Worcestershire. My family's farm on the River Severn just north of the city for 3 generations. But my family's been farming back as far as records go. If nothing changes and the current legislation goes through, it will ruin sort of small to medium-sized family farms. The tax bills associated with even small farms are crippling for what is already a very degraded, dying industry in this country. We need to keep the pressure on. We need to keep the heat up. We cannot let this happen. And if nothing changes today, we will not go down without a fight. Buy British, buy local, buy seasonal, support farmers.
They're really trying to kill the small family farm, and by taxing it out of existence. And they don't realise that people work for so low wages in farms, and that really upsets me, you know. And they take care of our countryside. They're the guardians of our countryside. And the families are really desperate, really, you know. They want to take an inheritance away from our children to carry their farm on is appalling.
We're here today, obviously, trying to get Rachel to change her mind on the family farm tax, because it's just killing farmers, really. Pretty devastating. It's a shame. There was a proper protest planned and they were going to use this road, but it was pulled yesterday by someone higher up than the Met. So everyone's just on the pavement and the tractors are circling London and can't get in. If you can write to your MP and tell them that you're concerned about your food going forward and that we need to save farms because it's cheaper to eat at home than it is to eat out, and we need our UK food production.
I've spoken to young farmers today and they just said my dream from when I was, from when I can remember is over. I am going to lose my farm. And that's just terrible. Without our farmers, we're not going to have food on our plate. We're not going to be able to feed one another. And I don't want to be relying on foreign imports, and I don't want small family farms to be taken over by corporate giants to put massive solar panel farms in and be bought up by the likes of BlackRock. But from net zero and man-made climate change nonsense to digital ID to inheritance tax to the attack on farms, going back to lockdowns and free speech and the right to protest, we're just seeing relentless, authoritarian, illogical, sinister attacks on the British public in any way.
I'm a small family farm of 200 acres. We're a livestock farm. We grow potatoes and cereals and have sheep as well, so we're mixed. The tax bill would be unaffordable for us.
When I came up to the process this time last year, my grandparents were both still alive, and we would have been looking at an inheritance tax bill of 700,000. Unfortunately, and I reckon due to the stress of this bill, my granddad was taken ill in February this year and passed away 5 weeks later, which in some ways has helped us a bit, but we still have a tax burden going on, which is unaffordable for us. I just want to say to Rachel Reeves, this isn't a tax on our income, this is a land grab pushed by the government. You know full well we cannot afford these taxes and we will have to sell to pay for them. And that's my message to you. Why rip apart a family when you can get your money so many different ways? It's been put to you by the NFU that if you increase fuel GTE on farms by 5p a litre, you'll get this money that you plan to receive through these taxes. And it's obvious that when we look at your government reports and you say that it's only going to affect a small majority, that's not true. If you take out all the properties that have 50 acres or less and large houses, this tax actually affects 80% of farmers in this country.
So yeah, we're a small family farm. It's a mixed farm. We're crops, all combinable crops, and we've got a beef unit as well. This is my daughter Beth. Got a son at home, Will. We're just hoping to pass 5 generations of work to my next generation, Beth. The way the government have done it with this inheritance tax, it's just not going to happen. It's going to be like £100,000 a year to pay off this stupid tax idea. The public have got to shop local. You know, they've got to support the local butchers, greengrocers, these supermarkets. You know, I'm sorry, but what sort of profit are they taking, like?
I'm here today because the inheritance tax is totally disgraceful. It's ruining family farms. It's turning a family business into a commercial business that only multinational companies can be involved in, instead of family farms as it has been for hundreds of years and the way it should be, to get the best food for the British people. Buy British, buy local, and make sure you're not voting for those that are voting against us in Parliament.
What are we doing here today? We've come up to London today, obviously budget day, to show our dismay at the government. What could possibly go on in the budget for not only farmers but for everybody, and with the ongoing inheritance tax issues. We didn't find out. We travelled up late last night and got into London about 1:30 this morning and didn't know anything about it till we were stopped by police officers and said the demonstration isn't going ahead. You're not permitted to park your tractors in London. Then proceeded to give us some paperwork and show us on a map where we couldn't park. But as I say, luckily enough, we managed to get parked up off the road and we stayed in our tractors all night. But why it's been cancelled, I do not know. I can only presume that there's going to be some ultra bad news in the budget this afternoon, and the powers that be in the city didn't want hordes of farmers with heavy machinery in the city. I farm in Andover in Hampshire. We're about 600 acres and I'm a mixed farm, so I produce store cattle and I produce arable crops. Not me, because I'll be in a box, but my 2 children, when the day when I die, hopefully I've got a few more years left in me yet, and a rough bag paper sums will be £1 million, £1.5 million, and we just don't earn the money out of it. And my children will have to pay a vast amount of money to buy their own farm back. So we are down by the Tate Gallery. I can't remember the name of the road down there, but we managed to park off the road outside the Tate Gallery at about 1:30 this morning. We had interactions with the police that informed us that the demonstration had been cancelled today. Wouldn't advise us as to where else we could park up because they weren't allowed to. So as I say, we got off the road and we slept in the tractors all night. As we've been stood here, yes, we've been warned as we're talking to people and members of the public, we've been warned that if we don't move on, we may possibly be arrested. And red tractor is another thing that is getting outdated, you know. You can go into a shop and buy something that's red tractor assured, a piece of meat. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's produced or grown in England, as long as it's been packed in a red tractor assured production line. They can put that sticker on there, but the meat might be from somewhere around the world that's got substandard practices to ours, and it's just not a level playing field that we can compete with.
Yeah, hi there. Tom Edwards. This is my daughter Beth. Got a son at home, Will. We're just hoping to pass all our 5 years of work, 5 years, I would say 5 generations of work, to my next generation, Beth. The way the government have done it with this inheritance tax, it's just not going to happen. We're just going to have to find it's going to be like £100,000 a year to pay off this stupid tax idea. We're £200,000 in the debt already. Like, how do we come up with this sort of money? Like, they haven't got a clue. We're just, working 7 days a week to put food on the table for people, and they just don't realise, the effort that's involved. Like, it's, I don't know, I'm quite upset about it, really, to be honest. Why can't they just come to the table and have a talk with us? There's options out there that would sort this out. I'm in favour of tax. We pay our taxes. If we earn money, we pay a fair tax. The public don't think we pay any tax, but we've got a tractor at home. It's costing us £2,500 a month just to have a tractor. We don't own it. We just lease it in like everyone else with a car. Like, and as I said, if we earn money, then we pay our fair taxes. This new tax IC thing is just going to kill us. Like, the only way I can pay that tax is to sell land, and that's, as I said, 4 generations to build up a business that's sustainable. If we sell land off, then it's not going to be sustainable. She'll have to work somewhere else. Like I said, the message to the government is stock up on bread and cheese. It's going to be a long winter. Thank you.
So my name's Mark Wattler. I work on a big arable farm in the Vale of Belvoir in Leicestershire. I've been working on farms since the age of 12, and it's all I've ever wanted to do. And it's just soul destroying at the moment. We want to be listened to. We want to produce the best quality food in this world. We want to feed this country. We want British people to buy British food that's traceable. We know where it's come from. We know what inputs have gone into it, what chemicals have gone into it, and it's all about traceability. And we need to support our British farmers and pay them a fair price for their food, because at the moment we're getting paid the same prices as we were 2 years ago, but our import costs have doubled. So we just want to be listened to. The inheritance tax, yes, it's a massive thing. That's what the media picks up on all the time. And yeah, we would like them to review that and raise the thresholds. And so it doesn't impact so many family farms that just want to farm and want to pass those farms on to their kids and their grandkids. Well, today, this organisation, this demonstration was started organising 6 weeks ago, and we got permission from the Met Police to park on Whitehall like we did last time when we had to visit London before, and have a peaceful demonstration, a show of numbers, and just tell the government that we haven't gone away. But yesterday afternoon at about 3 o'clock, the organisers got told by the Met Police that we're not allowed to bring any agricultural vehicles, tractors, etc. into London. We're allowed to have a peaceful foot protest. They've given us a little patch of land down the road here to have a peaceful protest, which we plan to do anyway. But the police have just overreacted, unfortunately. A lot of people have just come down and brought their tractors anyway, because we've got a right to protest. We were here peacefully, parked up on just down from Trafalgar Square, and then the police, I think, put a Section 50 notice or something like that on us to disperse, and they've brought in a firm with a wrecker and a low loader to forcibly evict us if we needed to. I think they've already arrested a couple of tractor drivers. Some of them have been de-arrested. Yeah, they've basically just put a dispersion notice on us where we were congregating up at Trafalgar Square, so they've got a little bit heavy-handed with it. And all we're trying to do is our legal right to protest, which they've known about for 6 weeks. This was a planned, working with them demonstration, and they're the ones that have caused all the congestion today by stopping us legally protesting.
So my name is Montgomery Toms, and I've been fighting kind of against authoritarian regimes and attacks on the British public since I was about 14 when the lockdowns hit, because I felt that that was a really hostile and illogical and immoral and unscientific attack on young people and all generations as well. And that has expanded quite immensely into evaluating the previous government and the current government when it comes to their, as I say, illogical and immoral and completely awful approaches to the people and the public. And inheritance tax is an attack on the farmers, but it's also an attack on the people and the public, because if you attack the farmers, the heart of our country, the backbone of Britain, the people that are responsible for putting food on our plates, then you're also attacking the British people. And that's why we've got to come together in entirety. It's not just about saying, oh, well, farmers are not professional activists out here. They've got to work, and they want to work. They don't want to be out here, but they feel like they have to. So that's why I actually say that it's actually more of a responsibility of the British public and the people to come out on the street to top up work and grassroots work to stand and fight for our farmers. And it's not just that, you know, I also expand on things looking at digital IDs and free speech and the fact that we have today a demonstration that has been disrupted by the Metropolitan Police as of yesterday, turning around and saying, oh, well, you can't bring your tractors in here, even though this happened last year. And the reason that is because it's terrifying. And when you see that also almost militant array last year, around the tractors taking up Whitehall, you realise how much power there is in grassroots work and how much power there is within the British public and the farmers, and that terrifies them. And as I just mentioned earlier, Rachel Reeves in her announcement, I mean, it was just laughable, but what was most intriguing is she went into quite a lot of depth on some of the topics. When it comes to the farmers, it's let's brush that under the carpet. And that's why I think that they don't want this to be investigated, because there could well be, I would say there is, but I'm happy to be contested on it, a sinister ulterior motive to have the likes of kind of BlackRock and net zero protocols and Mad Ed Miliband buying up land and, well, not Ed Miliband, but BlackRock, and sticking solar panels all over them and bringing forward this mental net zero kind of fantasy, and also take decentralized environments and communities and centralize them and instill this relentless need for top-down authoritarian control in this country. And we're seeing it with the farmers, we're seeing it with the public, we're seeing it within education, private institutions, everywhere. There's constant need to control us. And inheritance tax, yeah, it is linked. Bit of a rant for you.